We are on our way home from Columbus. We stayed an extra day. You know what? I say this all the time, but this is what I love about the summer is going places with my family, staying an extra day at the hotel and swimming if we can, going out to eat somewhere nice. You know, these are things that we don't get to do every day. And you know, it was funny. I was sitting in a restaurant with Amy and the kids yesterday. It was right at noon. It was right at noon because Amy didn't want to eat that early, and I did. And it was right at noon, and it was a beautiful day. It was about 25 degrees Celsius, so I don't know. I'm going to take a stab at it. 80, I don't know, 85, 86, 87 degreats Fahrenheit.
No.
26? Yes, it is.
80s.
Times by 2. So I said 25. Let's just use 25. That's 50. And at 82. I believe it's 82 to 85, somewhere around there. Anyway, it was nice. It was beautiful. Nice warm breeze. And every so often, I remember when I come home for Old Home Week, that was the thing I loved the most, is you get that warm breeze in the middle of the summer. And you don't get many days like that. You know, for those of you out there that take the time to relax during the summer, if you get a chance to, you know what I'm talking about. Just that perfect day. And that's what yesterday was for us. You know, everything seemed right in the universe. The horses were good. We had a few little horses, like Northern Blizzard had jumped on his foot, so he's going to need a couple of weeks off. You know, we still have a couple of 2-year-olds we were trying to sell. You know, everything is never, ever perfect. But that was as nice as you were going to get it at that very moment. And those are the moments I think everybody looks for in the summer. I know I do. And you don't get them very often. So my summer is encapsulated. It is defined by yesterday at noon. That's what my summer is.
You're getting old.
Because I'm getting old, Amy said. It's just, you know, you guys know the rat race we're in all the time, how busy we are all the time, and when you can just take a minute, relax, and enjoy that moment, then that's what summer's all about. So I think you guys know what I'm talking about. The sweet green cold brew, top shelf. A little tired, throw a little shot of espresso in there, you're ready to rock. That's the drink of the week, just so you know. You have a problem with that? No problems. So anyway, having a great run last week. I can't remember. Every so often we have a big run like that, right? Just enough to think we're on a roll, and then somebody kicks us in the guts. So I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. But man, oh man, last week was some kind of roll, and I didn't realize it until Kelly. Man, she does a great job. I never once asked her or said a word to her about putting together that weekly rundown. It makes sense because I do it for you in a very lengthy form, and she condensed everything into like a minute video and did such a great job. I didn't even know the kind of week we had. I can tell you it felt great. I can tell you it looked great. I can tell you it was great. But until I saw the video, I didn't know how good a week we had. Last week we had 10 winners and 26 top 3 finishers at the stable.ca across the board in North America. And we don't often keep track of those stats, so it's not something I just throw at you, by the way. But it doesn't seem like we've had very many weeks like that before. And I was so impressed looking back on the week. You know, James and I always butt heads about a lot of things, mostly because we're brothers, and partially because the style that James drives with and feels like in horse racing is not the style I'm with. And you know, the reality of the situation is I am now the 3rd best driver in the McDonald family. Thank God Curtis didn't get his license, because Mark and James are clearly, drivers. Full-on, full-time, professional, world-class drivers. And I'm very proud of that, especially since James got his start and was pushed into racing from myself and Jamie Smith, who worked for me at the time. So I'm very, very proud of that. But in the sense of training and driving horses, we do butt heads sometimes. You guys know that. The way James drives a horse is certainly not the way I drive a horse. Clearly one is better than the other in the long run. But the way we train horses is different also. James likes to be easy on them, and I'm quite hard on them. I expect our horses to work as hard as I do and take their job as seriously as I do. And James somehow has this old school mentality where it's baby, 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 hope they race good. Not here. It's work hard, work hard, work hard, be more prepared than the horses around you. Hope that they, and potentially make mistakes that you do not. We can't go into a race with Bomb Hugger. Now, we can now because we know how good she is. But you can't take a little tiny horse like her and say, I'm just going to go beat up on the most expensive, best horses in New York. That's just not reality. But having your horse ready to go to battle on day one is a big advantage. You saw it in Saratoga. Horses were making mistakes. Bomb Hugger just blasts out of there like an 8-year-old mare. Shut them down, turn around the last turn, away you go. You win. Now, I don't know if she was the best horse in the facility that day, but she won. Fast forward to Batavia. Same thing. Blast out of there. Hold on. There's a horse on the inside can leave as much as you. All right, no problem. Plan B, drop her in the 2-hole. Now, full disclosure, I wasn't really expecting a plan B with the speed of her off the gate. I had to wait until the 3/8 to even make sure that there was a passing lane in Batavia. But once I knew it was there, it really didn't matter. To me, inside or outside, head of the lane to the wire, I don't think any of those fillies can trot with her. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe they could have if I hadn't been forced into the passing lane. If Jim Morrell doesn't make a break and I was put in that position, would I have still won? I believe I would have, but who knows? But that doesn't matter. Bomb Hugger was in a professional zone, and it's so cool because when I showed up to warm up Bomb Hugger, Ryan Swift had said, yeah, we jogged her. Man, she looks at everything. I'm like, really? She said, yeah, birds and the tractor and everything. I said, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to see a much different horse tonight. We went first trip, sure enough, she's looking at the fence. She's looking at the light standard. She's looking at the grandstand. She's looking at the fans. You put her gear on to go second trip, it's just like a zone. Different horse. I'm finishing up my mile in the warm-up, and there is a water truck on the inside and a tractor in the 4-wide path. Let's just call that a less than ideal situation to be in. Bomb Hugger just blew right through the middle of them like they were not even there. We pulled up, and I just said to myself, I said, you know when she's dialed in. But that's a competitor, right? And that's bringing your horse ready to be the best it can be on that day. I can't assume that we have the best horse, but I absolutely want our horses to be the most prepared, because if they are, we can take advantage of other horses' mistakes. So that is the way I believe horses should be trained, and that may differ from some people, but at the same time, when it all shakes down, we all want what's best for the stable, right? You do, I do, and I can guarantee you James does. And those arguments we have are born from the want and the need to do better all the time, and that's a good thing. And ultimately, what James and I talk about, when we're all done our heated discussion, we're both our father's sons, and it can get pretty heated sometimes. But when it's all said and done, the dust settles and cooler minds prevail, it's always the same. There are two types of people: the people that want more all the time, and the people that are willing to settle for what they have. And if you're willing to settle for what you have, at some point, you're going to be the guy working for the stable, not the guy running the stable. And that's no disrespect to anybody that works there. Everybody has to settle at some point. But I'm as hungry now as I was when I was 21 and I first got my driver's license. I want to win races. I want to be competitive. I want to show this industry that we can do what they said we couldn't. And James and I only butt heads because he wants the same. He just thinks there may be a different, better way to go about it. And I try to tell him all the time, there's a million ways to train a horse. At the end of the day, getting them to the track, having some fun, having some luck, and having a good time with our clients, that is our goal. And you have to understand sometimes, and this is what's lost on a lot of people, and quite frankly, it is lost on James, and it is on me sometimes too, is that it can't always be about just winning. It can't always be about just making more money or the most money. It has to be about doing what's best for the client, doing what's best for the horse. And that's lost on all of us sometimes. I get to the track, I want to win with Bomb Hugger, I want to win so bad with her. But if she finishes second and all the clients are happy, the filly raced good, and everybody is feeling good, it's always important to look on the right side of the ledger where they keep the money, but that is not the driving force behind the stable.ca. And that is something nobody has ever done in horse racing before. Has taken the return on investment, that very, very difficult and highly sought after thing, and taken it away from the equation. And I'm not telling anybody, hey, don't worry about the money, don't worry about this. But the vast majority of you, and everybody has been counseled too, it isn't just about the money. So, that is where we're at. I'll get off track a little bit, as I generally do, but I was so proud of what Kelly did this week, so proud of the culmination of the argument James and I had. We both want the same thing. We just think there's a better way to go about it. James may think I'm hard on the horses, and I may think he's soft on them. But as long as we get the most out of them and they're racing well, that's all that matters. As long as our clients are entertained, as long as they're having fun, as long as they get to go to the barn, everybody's upbeat, and we're all moving forward together, that is the win right there. So, again, huge week this week. 10 winners, 26 in the top 3. I'll run through them quick, and if you got a minute, man, oh man, go on Facebook or Twitter. Kelly has posted just a quick rundown of all the winners and everything we had going on this week. She couldn't possibly put 26 in there. I think maybe she did. But man, oh man, just a great week. Stonebridge Simba kicked it off, won by a whisker last week at the wire, and raced very, very good. Now, a lot of people have asked, what's going on with White Tiger? What's going on with Simba? Yes, because Simba and Yes kind of tripped over one another this week, and I don't want that happening. So we've been talking about sending White Tiger to Plainridge. Ava, what's wrong, honey? Stop talking to her. What's wrong, honey? You gonna play your Peppa game? Well, I'm gonna have to throw you out the window then. So Tim wants to keep White Tiger, obviously. A couple of our clients, and I don't think that I'm against it. I think, listen, here's the way I see White Tiger going. We know when he's good, he's good. When he's bad, he's really frustrating to be around. But we should look for the place he's going to do the best. Now, he is doing good in the non-horse 7,000. Eventually, he's going to get up a little higher. He's going to find it a little tougher. He's going to find his way back down. Is that the best place? Hey, Addie, look at the doggy out the window. That'll be you if you keep it up. I'm going to throw you out the window. Yeah, the doggy's going to get out the truck. So what I did plan on doing was sending White Tiger to Massachusetts. Well, give him a try. If you can't do fine, we can bring him back. It's not a problem. Trucks go both ways. The problem is there's not a lot of trucks going either way. It's very difficult to get to Plainridge. It feels like it would be easier to get him to Saudi Arabia than it would Plainridge Raceway. There's not a lot of stalls in the area. I spoke to Jeff Lieberman. Seems like a nice guy. We were introduced through one of his clients that was calling me looking to buy horses and talking about his trainer, Jeff. Seems like a stand-up guy with a small barn. White Tiger should fit in good there. If he gets around the track, it should be a win-win for everybody. We all know in this game, there's no shoulds don't always turn into confirmation. So I think we'll send White Tiger out there. Yeah, the licensing's not hard in Massachusetts, I don't think. We'll send White Tiger. He's going to leave Tuesday. Now, he is going to be entered Friday at Plainridge. He's going to be leaving our barn Monday or Tuesday and heading to Plainridge. The reason being, I would like to move Stonebridge Simba potentially back over to Tim. There's a lot of classes over there for him, and I don't want him tripping over Yes. And I'm not sending Yes anywhere right now. Jason knows Yes very well. I know Yes very well. His break last week was nothing more than equipment. We're going to work on that. We've made some shoeing changes. He drew the 8-hole again tonight, so we're going to have to go around again tonight. But that will all lead to a stronger and more prepared Yes when he does drop way down in class. So I just don't want those horses tripping over one another. And with White Tiger being here when he could be potentially more effective somewhere else, it makes sense just to move him around. If we bring him back, we bring him back. It's not the end of the world. So that is the plan for those 3 horses. Addie, what's wrong? Addie, Ava, can you get whatever she needs, sweetheart? What do you need, honey? I'll get it for you. I think she's just looking to make noise. And she's very good at it. Ava, can you just help your sister do whatever she wants to do there? I don't know. I don't speak baby. You're going to have to talk to her. Ava? Right now. Now. So, we have White Tiger going to... First, we have a baby going out the window. Then we have White Tiger going to Massachusetts. Stonebridge Simba is likely right now. And then we have Yes staying at Northfield Park. So we're going to focus on those 3 horses in the here and now. Ava?
I'm asking her what she wants.
Okay. Addie Bear, what do you want, honey? You want another juice? I think she's just looking to make trouble. That's the McIntyre coming out in her. She's looking to make trouble. A troublemaker. So, we started off the week with Simba, as I said. Addie, That's enough of that, please. Ava. Ask your sister what she wants and get it done right now. Next, we have some other news also. We have Kentucky coming up. You guys knew quietly that we have a number of Kentucky-sired, Kentucky-eligible horses. Now, I made a decision last week. Aguilera M went back to Ontario. James and Johnny and Teresa have Aguilera M. I think that was a smart move considering James knows her very well, Johnny knows her well, and Teresa knows her exceptionally well as she's taking care of her a very long time. Blue Bayou Dio came from Ontario. She's going to be heading to Kentucky this week. Garden State Dio raced in Pennsylvania, but she will be heading to Kentucky also this week. Now, it looks like it should be a lot of fun, unless Amy Kills is driving. It should be a lot of... Get her CC, Ava. So, it looks like Friday afternoon, I'm going to head to Kentucky. Now, this is how my week looks. Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm gone away. Wednesday, I am... Tuesday and Wednesday, I've gone away. Thursday, I'm in Delaware at Harrington for Jazzy Judy's final, going for $100,000. Friday, Ava, get her CC.
Oh, you gotta make sure you're back on Friday.
Oh, I'm going to be back in time. My flight gets in at 11 a.m. So this is how razor thin my week looks. Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm gone away. Thursday, I have to go to Harrington for Jazzy Judy. My flight gets back. Now, I can't fly home because for this week, they race at night in Harrington. So there's no flights out of Philadelphia or Baltimore. I looked. Getting me back to Cleveland in the evening. So I will be stranded, I believe, in Philadelphia over the night. And then I'll fly back Friday morning first thing. I will get into Cleveland. I'll land at 11. At 12, we'll likely get in the car and drive to Kentucky. We'll stay in Kentucky all weekend, race Blue Bayou Dio, Garden State Dio, and Unbeatable Kemp on Sunday at the Red Mile. First time Amy's ever been to the Red Mile at a race. Yeah, Ava has a Red Mile shirt on. You guys can't see that. That's cool, eh? Ava has a Red Mile shirt on. So, we'll be going to the Red Mile to race those 3 horses on Sunday and then come back on Monday. So another little family outing. I had to bribe Ava. It was actually kind of cheap. She's not a very good negotiator. She traded for a $7 Dragon book to come to Kentucky. It's pretty cheap.
I wanted a Harry Potter one, and Mom said I can't have it.
Well, you settled for a Dragon book, and now you're going to Kentucky. Yes, I have the contract.
No, you do not.
So it's going to be a little bit of a busy week here for the McDonald family, but it should be fun. Again, I know Kentucky's a beautiful place, and I really should be 250, 300 pounds. I do enjoy eating at nice places, and I do enjoy staying places with my family, so it's going to be a lot of fun this week. Regardless of the 5.5-hour drive, it'll mean nothing, because at the end of that particular rainbow is another fun weekend for us. So we'll race on Sunday, come back on Monday, and then do it all again next week. This will obviously mean, for those of you out there that are smart enough thinking about it really quick, means I'm going to miss the Arden. I'm going to miss the Arden. Thursday, I'm going to miss Taiwan On, because I'll be with Jazzy Judy in Harrington, but there was more than one reason I put Hunter Myers on Taiwan On last week. So Hunter got along very, very good with her, likes her very much, and will drive her in the Arden. Mordina will have the Arden also, but Barry's a terrible name. Brody Brown. Brady Brown. Oh my God, Brady Brown. Sorry, Brady. Brady Brown. I'm turning into my father. Can't remember anybody's name. Brady Brown will drive a Mordiner. Obviously, he won with the horse and filled the hole on me last week. That allowed me to win with the horse. And he'll drive him again. He knows him, so he'll drive him again on, I assume that class goes Thursday or Friday. Either way, I won't be here. But we have a lot going on, as I said. I just started into my list and got sidetracked by a crying baby and sidetracked by some other things. Obviously, Simba's race was fantastic. Century Invictus looked good. We actually had a lot of people asking, no complaints, asking why we didn't have Century Invictus in the Battle of Waterloo. That's a great question. We could have, but he beat the Grassroots. This is a horse where I think is confidence driven. Oh, hi, now you're okay. Is confidence driven. So putting him in with horses that maybe he can't beat. I know 55 was a good mile, and he looked damn good. I'll admit he did. But I defer a lot of what goes on to a simple conversation with James, who's driving, Johnny, who's training, or Harry, or Jason, or anybody in that regard. We have to take in the information. Ultimately, the decision is going to be made from the top. But I defer in many of these cases to the people that are on the ground, the front line of our stable. And when James and Johnny both say, I wouldn't do that, you draw outside 5 and get in with even a couple of tough ones, it's going to get real bad, real hairy. And we don't want that for a horse that's just coming off a razor-sharp victory. Let's continue to allow him to grow. So I don't believe... Where is CC? On the floor? Ava, can you see if it just fell into the seat?
I did. I checked everywhere. It's not.
There's one in my purse, I think.
There's one in Mom's purse. So when it comes to Century Invictus, it's as simple as this. I don't want him to be defined by the Battle of Waterloo, and I don't want him to find out that he can't beat horses, right? This is a horse that is trained down okay, but didn't wow anybody, and now come up with a huge mile and look very, very good. Johnny is doing a great job managing him. James is doing a great job driving him, and if both of them said, I wouldn't do it, I won't do it. And that's exactly where that came from. Made no sense. Yes, they race for a lot of money, but at the same time, this is a colt that has a lot going on for him, a colt that's very well bred, a colt that we paid a lot of money for, and we want to be able to bring him along properly. I don't think there's anybody out there that say they weren't shocked with the 55 and 2 mile over Grand River. I was, and the way how good he looked.
Especially on the front.
Yeah, especially on the front. This horse couldn't train a mile 25 in his life on the front. So he's coming forward. Let's allow him to advance at his own rate. So that's where we're at with Century Invictus. It wasn't an easy call. If James had said, maybe, Johnny said, maybe, he probably would have been in. But it wasn't an emphatic no, but it was I wouldn't do that if I were you. So that's where we're at with Century Invictus. Very, very close decision, but at the same time, let's allow this horse to come forward on his own. Next was was So Admirable. Mark Beckwith, we got off to a rocky start. We had some horses that just didn't do. Perfect Record kind of fell apart a little bit. He raced good at the Meadowlands and won that maiden, and then just kind of fizzled out after that. We couldn't get him back. We couldn't get him back on track, so we turned him out here for 3 weeks. We're going to bring him back a little fresher. Then we had what was the other horse we had? Sweet Ambitions. I mean, Sweet Ambitions can be a donkey when she wants to be, quite frankly. I know my father loves her. I own a big chunk of that filly. She's well bred, and it's weird because when I look at her breeding and listen, I'm not a breeding expert. When I look at her breeding, I see, she's okay, but apparently there's a lot of hidden. So when you look at horses that are in the second dam or third dam, all those other lines branch off, as you can imagine. And from what I've been told by a lot of people, an extremely well-bred filly. So here's a filly she's a Father Patrick, right? Father Patrick filly, out of a good family with a mark of 56. Even though she isn't the fastest horse, she does have a beautiful gait. Here's a horse that wears no boots, wears a little bit of vet wrap behind, and can really race with nothing behind, and a set of bell boots up front. No head pulls, no nothing. Now, she does coast in and out from time to time, but here's a horse with a flawless gait. Yes, I will call her work ethic into, I do have concerns with it from time to time. Her overall speed, she's shown flashes. She showed a couple of miles in 57, and that win in 56 and 1 was good, but where did that horse go to? It just kind of disappeared. Was it allergies? Was it a number of things? I don't know. We sent her home. Why did we send her home? Because we spend that money over here. That class that she was in is not filling in Ontario. We brought her here, raced her a couple of times in the Meadows, and likely sell her. So that's why Spend That Money came here. Spend That Money came here and allowed Sweet Ambitions to go home. She can race in the class that Italian Grid is racing in. Plus, if they happen to start filling that class that Spend That Money was in, she fits that also.
Okay, so Admirable, that's what we're talking about.
I know, I was talking about So Admirable.
Okay.
How did I get to
I don't know.
Sweet Ambitions? Oh, because Mark Beckwith had Sweet Ambitions.
Okay.
So there was a link there. But thank you
This
for that.
list is going to take 4 hours.
Okay, whoa. So Admirable, although we didn't have much luck with Sweet Ambitions and Perfect Record, man, we've had lots. And it wasn't a seamless start. with Mark Beckwith with So Admirable, making breaks and getting into gear. He was adamant she was fast. He was adamant she was quick. He just thought that maybe she needed some polishing up, and clearly he had the right polish because she was fantastic. 3 wins in a row, a mark of 54 and 2.5 mile track now. Now, she does move up in competition where she's not going to bully anybody. Now she's going to have to race against horses that can potentially beat her. And not to say I don't have any problem with So Admirable's attitude or work ethic. She's always been a worker to me. But at the same time, Mark made it very clear. He said, listen, nice filly. She's going into a little deeper part of the pool now at Saratoga Raceway. Probably worth as much as she's going to be worth for a while right now. You might want to list her on Gate. So we did. We listed her for $32,000. I'm not really interested in taking much less than that for her. A lot of the times we'll list a horse and we will take less. We listed Prince Tab for 16. We took 15. But when it comes to this filly, I don't think it's as much as dumping her as pricing her. So there won't be a ton of movement on that price, I don't believe. I think she will do just fine moving forward. And if somebody wants a nice New York bred filly that is eligible to all the Sire Stakes still, this might be the one for them. Next, Sweet on Pete. I have told everybody that Sweet on Pete may, in fact, be one of our best fillies in Ohio. I love Of Tom, but you can see now, 58. She's trotting in 58, but again, she's going through a phase where she has to pack some muscle on. Somebody, actually, Kirby, who works for us, is a very small partner in Of Tom, and was actually incensed and angry that I didn't put her, that we're not putting her into the Ohio State Fair. And the State Fair is like the Ohio Breeders at the end of the year, but this is the State Fair one. And I told him, I said, I'm done chasing horses right now with this filly. This filly wants to race and be a good horse, and she's going to race Monday in the fair. And I suspect she'll do very well. If she does as well as I assume she will, she may race Friday at the fair at Northfield Park. They're having a fair there on Friday. Yes, it's back in 4 days, but you're talking about what should be minimal work. So hopefully have the 2 fairs, and then after that go to the Buckeye. I would like to head into the third, how many legs have been 2, right? Into the 4th leg of the Sire Stakes, potentially move Of Tom back up there, but coming off hopefully what would be a win at the fair, and a win in the Buckeye. That would be a perfect scenario. And at that point, we can move her back up into the Sire Stakes. Now, Sweet on Pete has raced in both Buckeyes. Now, she looked fantastic the other day, 28-4 in the end. If you really want to do your math, go put a stopwatch on the last 8. Tell me what that looks like. We were smoking on the end of it. This filly's got it all put together now. She's starting to get more comfortable on the track. Sounder, Shelby, everybody that's had anything to do with this filly has done a great job. It was not easy getting her to this point. She had her issues. We had to back off a couple of times because her knees were hurting her, her feet were hurting her, but now she's got it all put together. I'm going to tell you what, she is the filly. Her and probably Purple Aura will be heading to the Ohio State Fair on August 5th. Now, Purple Aura I don't think is a better filly, infinitely better filly than Of Tom, but I think Purple Aura is a little more flattened out right now, where she can go as fast as Of Tom. She's put the proper muscle on. She feels more comfortable right now. And the trajectory for those fillies very, very, very similar. But at the same time, I think Of Tom probably needs a little freshen up. Needs a little easier competition. She chased in the Next Generation. She chased in the first stake race. She raced well at Northfield Park, finished up strong. And I can easily make an argument to take her to the Ohio State Fair, but I think it just makes more sense just to relax. These fillies are not, I don't plan on burning them out when they're 2, right? I plan on them having them better when they're 3 and 4, and this is the same trajectory that we've tried to maintain with a lot of horses. We'll talk about a couple coming up. So, Sweet on Pete is going to the Ohio State Fair. Very, very impressed with the way this filly has looked. And last week, she was exceptionally good at Scioto Downs, oddly where the State Fair is. Much bigger filly than those other fillies also. Confederate Cruiser looked like he just jiggy-jogged the other day at the fair. This will go a long way for this horse's confidence also. Just crushed them. Moved first over, won easily, wrapped up by 6 lengths in 2 minutes. Fair Buckeye for this guy, but we're going to have a lot of fun with him the rest of the summer. And then we get to Bomb Hugger. She was incredible. This is, I think, Gertrude and her are still undefeated in New York. Eventually, we're going to lock horns, and there's going to be other fillies that come along. But as I said to you, having the most prepared filly on the track goes a long way, and there are very few horses that bring their A game in such a manner that Bomb Hugger has so far. You'll see horses catch up and start to put it all together, and maybe they will be faster. I don't know, but I've never seen Bomb Hugger have trouble with horses just yet. She's looked good from day one. If you guys go all the way back to January and February, where she went that big training mile for me, and I told you she's ready to qualify. Now it feels like, because she just, when it's time to go, she brings it, and that's a very, very, very important thing to have. So Bomb Hugger, arguably, well, not arguably, she is one of the best fillies in New York State. That's my girl. Or no, jumped over Taiwan on. She looked so incredible the other day. I had said to you guys, we're going to give her a week off, train her up hard at Northfield, bring her over to the Meadows, race her in a maiden, which will be a prep for the Arden. And the Arden will be a clear indicator of where we go next, Sire Stakes or Stallion Series. And if the Arden is anything like the maiden the other day, I think she'll probably try the Sire Stakes again. She was awesome. I know I got to the track that day. And Hunter comes up and he goes, "Now, what's the scoop on the Taiwan filly?" I said, you can almost drive her as bad as you want, and she's still probably going to win. She is more prepared and ready to go than Garden State Deal, simply because she missed that time. You guys knew I was really so reserved about sending her, and I wish I had not qualified her in 56 now, because she wouldn't have went had I not. I backed myself into a corner where I really, speed-wise, talent-wise, she could have went to the Meadowlands, but knowing that I couldn't go drive her, and that that was a bit of a jump for her, I really wish she hadn't qualified in 56. She would have had 2 extra starts here, but she was no worse for wear. John took care of her. She made that break. There was no harm, no foul, I guess, in the long run, other than we wasted a little bit of our money. But at the same time, I think I still make the argument we had more than enough reason to send her. So Garden State Dio was second to her, and I said to Hunter when I got there, the filly you're on is likely the best filly in the race, by far. I said Garden State Dio is good, but I got to watch her. She's coming off a break. I want to get a clean line on her. She hasn't trained really, really hard in 2 weeks. So I know your filly. I trained her myself in 59 5 days ago. She's ready to rock. Hunter pulled up and he said, "You weren't joking. Wow, this thing can fly." Earplugs in, 56-3 in a maiden at the Meadows. An extremely impressive mile. And I suspect, as I said, it wasn't the only reason I put Hunter on. I knew that we had stuff coming up. I knew that Jazzy Judy's race goes on the same day as Taiwan on in Harrington. I knew that I had to go to Kentucky on the Friday for the other horse. So it made all the sense in the world for Hunter Myers to drive Taiwan on. And I suspect he'll do just fine in the Arden this coming week. That's my girl, starting to look good. That's like 4 or 5 races in a row where not only did she not make a break, she didn't look like she would. She was put in a spot a couple of times where she could have. The old That's My Girl would have, but she's finally starting to put it all together. We'll probably race her, not probably, she's entered in to go. We'll race her once more if she looks as good as we hope. Then we can start looking again at the Indiana condition sheet to see if that's something that makes sense and go from there. Globe Trotting, I said this the other day, I think she's the best horse I ever had. She's such an incredibly talented mare, and just write her entire 3-year-old season off. She never really had a chance. She just, a little bit like my Jazz, where just one thing after another just couldn't get her right. And then for her to go out and race the way she did was really nothing short of incredible. She looked absolutely fantastic. This affiliate's got 4 starts this year, 2 wins, a second, and a break. And we all know that break was a win if she doesn't make the break. So easily we could have been looking at a mark of 51 and a piece, or at least 52, 3 wins in a second. She has looked very, very good, and I know Ron has been extremely quiet about her. Not a whole lot has been said. Just go out and win races and move on, and just a real treat to watch. 52-4, new lifetime mark again on Saturday. It looked incredibly good doing it. Talk about fillies looking great. Tipsy and Dixie. Not only did she win, I'm looking at the entries for the Hanover race and it was pouring rain all day. I'm looking at the entries and I'm saying, there is gold 3-year-old colts in this stake race. It's open to both sexes, but it's in between a bunch of stake races, so it's an okay prep. But man, There's gold colts in here. She's a grassroots filly. You know, could she do in the golds? Yeah, probably. But she's a grassroots filly. She caught a little softer division, but won with the earplugs in, wrapped up 2-1. The fastest mile of the day for any trotters. In fact, the second fastest mile of the entire day on either gate was Tipsy and Dixie. So I'm shocked. I mean, it's still a lot to ask. Are you going to go out and beat those gold colts in Hanover next week? I don't know. She's got post 4, and expectations are tempered going in, but man, what a thrill to see her go up against these horses next. I assume it's Saturday afternoon on a half-mile track where the ball is in her court. I don't know how good the other ones can. Dougie's colt looked good, Jody's colt looked good, but she is at her best on a half-mile track. That's a good question. I don't know. Amy asked if she's the only filly. I doubt it, but she could be. I don't know. I know the ones that won the other divisions were colts. So Tipsy and Dixie has looked good, and that ties also into Tai Wanan. That's Tai Wanan's older sister. So Tipsy and Dixie doing great things for us at 3, and Tai Wanan poised to do great things at 2. Now, those were the winners. We had 10 winners last week. Second place, Luck of the Dragon looked good. Finished second in the fair the same day that Confederate Cruiser jogged. So he looked good. He's coming forward. Don't Believe Me, Just Watch continues to race good. He was second. What about 1-2 Skip a Few from post 9? Beat a neck ahead at the wire. She raced fantastic. Things are getting better for her also. Italian Grit was good again. So Travis, I know he wasn't very happy when he made the break the week before, but Grit will do that. He'll test your patience, and then he went race better the other day. I suspect he's in to go this week again. Timo Houdini, Steve Boston says his horse fantastic. Second, he took him off Lays X, which fine. Took him off Lays X. He was second in 56, I think, the other night at Grand River. That's a big mile at Grand River. So Steve Boston's doing very, very good job with Timo Houdini. Garden State DL bounced back great. I told you guys everything going into the race. I knew that Tai Wanan was probably the best one going into the race, simply because the other filly hadn't really done a whole lot. She qualified big, but then made the break at the Meadowlands. And in between that qualifier at Northfield Park and that race the other day at the Meadows, there wasn't a whole lot of training, and certainly no fast miles in the race bike. So that was sheer talent the other day. She'll be off to Kentucky. The Red Mile with the McDonald family will look like a bunch of hillbillies going down the road. Half-ton truck, 3-horse trailer on the back, stroller in the back, diaper bag blown in the wind, 3 kids in the back, and mom and dad. So it'll be fun. The Brady Bunch is heading to... I will call us the Brady Bunch if I want. It is my video. You can make your own Amy video and call us whatever you want. Okay? Yes, you are. Why are you coming to Kentucky? Well, she was a holdout. You were a pushover. You were always coming to Kentucky. You weren't paying attention. Why, are you going to hold out now? You say you don't want to go to Kentucky? Oh, fine. We can leave you at home. Leave you at home with, what's that lady's name? Barb. That's a funny joke for another time. So, Garden State Dio heading to Kentucky. White Tiger heading to Massachusetts. He's been racing good. I'm obviously torn on this. Tim doesn't want to lose him. He's like 2-3, 2-3, 2-3, 2-3. But all those 2s and all those 3s should be 1s, I think. Most of them should be, and you know it. Most definitely the other day should have been a 1. But
what more does he have to do? Before wide and twice.
What's he have to do? He has to go get his picture taken. That's what he has to do. And better that, if he could beat fair and square, fine. He's an obvious winner that chooses to lose. That's what he was the other day.
Yeah, Dad, Ollie can't come to Kentucky. He has camp.
No, we're all leaving on Friday, Ava. Quiet.
We have camp on
Ava, you know I'm the 44-year-old dad, right? And you're the 10-year-old daughter.
We have camp on
That's a great story, Ava. So why don't you just sit back there and drop?
If it was school, though, we could visit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're going to Kentucky, so quit it. You already sold your soul to the devil. You're going there for a dragon book. You're going there. That's what you're doing. So White Tiger heading to Massachusetts on, I believe he's heading Tuesday. He'll be heading to Massachusetts. Mama Knows Best raced great the other night. Picked off the wire horse down on the inside. She's always in the mix, right? She's not tons of best by any means in any Buckeye, but there's no slouches in there. That filly that beat her looked strong and looked good. I thought I had her pinned in hard in the last turn, and we had to move early, and she got moving. The horse that finished third is a good filly, a Dollface also. We bid on the sister to a Dollface last year. I can't remember her name now. I really liked her. good bunch of fillies. And for her to race the way she did, coming off a break and a sickness, so she's not super tight. And because she touches that left hind jack, we opted to gallop her this week, not train her in the race bike. So we galloped her hard. I didn't know if that would be enough coming in. I was very interested myself, but clearly it was. Mama Knows Best raced good. Second in 56. Congratulations. Spirit of Dio raced huge also. Both sisters were second this week. Now, Spirit of Dio didn't seem as sharp as I thought she could be, but she's been racing and training hard. I think we're going to give both her and Path of Totality next week off. We're not going, mostly because I can't go Friday. I think Jason said we've like 8 or 9 horses to enter at Northfield Park next Friday. So I won't be going to Scioto Downs. And the way those fillies they both look great, but they both also look like maybe a week off, freshen them up, be all right. So Spirit of Dio second. The horse that beat her is straight out of the Open. 2-3, 3-4 in his last 4 starts in the Open trot. That is a 6 or 7-year-old gelding that beat her the other day. Now, in fairness, she's a 4-year-old mare, but at the same time, Garden State Dio looks like she's coming forward. We finally got her perfect. I said Garden State, Spirit of Dio, sorry. Path of Totality. It was so awesome. Anytime we have either Marcia come from Kansas City, Missouri, right? Missouri, and then have, and then the next week, we have Marty McKenzie and his wife drive all the way from North Carolina. I asked her in the bar after, I said, how long was the drive? 10 hours, they said. Drove 10 hours to watch Path of Totality race in an overnight. That right there is the draw of the stable. That's the draw of horse racing. And that is what the stable is all about. So thank you, Marty, and your beautiful wife for coming down. I'm glad you had a good time. I wish we'd have got her picture taken. Had a real tough competitor in Ron Burke's filly that won the race. That's a legit gold 3-year-old filly, so it's not like we get beat by some sort of condition claimer or something. What else took place? Path of Totality. Massive Profit was second. Again, a beaten favorite. I don't know. He just thought it looked like he was a winner, and he get picked off fair and square. This colt's going to have to find his way. He's obviously a competitor in the Sire Stake program. He's not a layover, right? It's not like Swan Ray the Giant, but he's a good horse in his own right, and I suspect he'll shine in multiple places throughout the summer. So I can't wait. I'm waiting also with bated breath for next week to watch Massive Profit race in Indiana. And who was third this week? Blue Bayou Dio, who's now at Northfield Park. She's coming with Amy and I and the kids to Kentucky next weekend. So the Kentucky schedule is simple. I'm going to get in the car. It's about a 5.5-hour drive, I believe, from Northfield Park to Kentucky. Maybe a hair more. We're going to drive down, get situated. I spoke to John Boutenshane today. Him and Tyler might be able to have some stalls for us there, so it'll all work out. The first week it'll work out. The reason we're going down this week is because there's a 14-day gap between the first leg and the second leg of the Kentucky Incentive Series. So we'll just bring the horses back. We'll bring those 3 horses back. So we're going to go down on Friday, go easy Saturday, jog them lightly, and then race them on Sunday. Those 3 horses, again, are Blue Bayou Dio, Garden State Dio, and Unbeatable Kemp. Isa 10 finished third this week. Race good. I said to Amy after, you know what? This filly's desire is right at the top shelf. Her understanding of her job, right at the top shelf. She's just interfering. She's hitting her knee, hitting her hind jack, getting in a gear. And the reason she looks so bully is because she is simply frustrated. You know what? Why don't we turn this filly out and let her grow up while she still has that killer instinct before she gets worn down from interfering and doesn't want to do it anymore, before she gets tired and frustrated and starts making breaks. Why don't we just turn her out? Turn her out and let her grow up and become the horse she wants. So that's exactly what we are going to do. This isn't a situation where she's sore, she's lame, she's hurt herself, she's not good enough. It's none of those. She is good enough. She's not lame. She's not sore. But when it comes to this, it's more of a mental thing. Mentally, we need her to relax. The only way to do that is to stop her from hitting herself. The only way to do that is let her grow up. I really think that interference will dissipate quite a bit as she matures into a sophomore. So give her lots of time. She's going to have 3 months minimum off. I'm just going to let her grow, fill out, and bring back a nice, bigger filly. And I think what you'll find is a filly that might brush herself, not to the point that it even bothers her, and this will allow her to excel into the horse she wants to and she believes she is. Amor Diener also raced huge last week, finished third. Again, a beaten favorite. Might have had 10 winners, but we had a few beaten favorites, didn't we? And Amor Diener, I think, just isn't that snappy, quick-gated horse, and I think Yannick just thought he was going to grind up and beat them. You just got to let him. He's a cool horse. You let him get up in the rearview mirror. These horses up into their saddle pads, he's going to take a run at them. But if you're a length and a half back, he'll try and grind forward. He got beat fair and square the other day, but here's a horse that was parked the whole way and then come back a week later to be first over. Probably not super setting for him. It'd be great if we found some pylons. We found some styrofoam for him next week. That would be wonderful. So I think Brady Brown will get the drive on Amor Diener in the Arden next, I assume, Thursday or Friday. West 52nd was third, first over. That's not usual. You don't hear those words go together very often. West 52nd is not usually a first over grinder type, but he finished third for Tony Hall the other day. We're still trying to find the perfect spot for him. I know where we can put him, right in the 15 to 20 claimer in Scioto if we want to also. But, and drew the 8-hole. Drew the dreaded 8-hole this week. Man, that sucks. Compass Rose DC raced great. Raced exceptionally, actually. Bumped her off the gate, made a break leaving, got interfered with at least twice in the remainder of the mile, and still finished third and raced very, very good. Man, this is a tough mare. When she goes on a tear and gets some opportunity to race, I was first over, Hunter's first over, Dave made a break with her. Once she gets a shot to be, in the 2-hole, second over, on the front end even, I think you're going to see this filly go on a little bit of a tear. Just have to get her in the right spot. Moving forward. And then, although she wasn't third, it was absolutely imperative that I mention My Jazz. My Jazz raced about as tough as any horse on planet Earth could have. She has something bothering her left hind now, which really isn't that shocking. She's been off right front from that foot separation for over 2 months, and I believe she's taken weight to the point where she's now bothered something in her left hind. The veterinarian's looking to try and find it. Jason's looking for it. We'll get to the bottom of it, but at the same time, the determination this filly showed, keep in mind, this filly has gone 2 fast miles in 3 months. 2. Only 2. For her to go out and trot in 56, come 28 apiece, charging at the pack in front of her at the wire, was nothing short of incredible. From me, the guy driving her, nothing short of incredible. I was so impressed with My Jazz. You don't like that horse, you just don't like horses. So, and that's really what it boils down to. My Jazz has got a lot coming up in front of her, and as the other fillies do too. Now, obviously, the disappointing part, we were talking about those 3-year-old fillies. I'm a Lovely Lady got burned up. I had said to Chris Page after, I said, listen, man, I couldn't not leave. My filly's legit in there. He said, yeah, the trainer said this filly's best. She should be on the front. Short field. I'm just looking to take pieces off the chessboard type thing. I can't remember exactly what he said, but that's the way he wanted to race the filly. And you go to a race, you want to race, but at the same time, that's going to happen. You're going to get parked. I've driven over 25,000 races, and I've been parked plenty of them. But that's the way it is. I'm not going to take I'm a Lovely Lady off the gate and hope that the 2 favorites that get away 1-2 somehow screw up with 2 of the better drivers in Ohio driving them to the point where I can come and pick them off and I'm a Lovely Lady. That's a fool's errand. I went out of there looking to put our filly in a position to win, and instead I got parked. That happens. I have no regrets from it, none at all. I guess, looking at the race, I'm sure Chris looked at the race. Not that he cares. I mean, the guy drives in every race. But looking at the race, taking a look at it, saying, yeah, if I let Anthony go, I'm 1-2, and he's 1-2. Yeah. It's just the way it shook down. So, I'm a Lovely Lady, as I said to Anna the other day on Facebook. She didn't get to where she is being soft, and you can be sure she forgot about that trip by the time she got off the trailer when she got home. She is iron tough also. So, looking for a big week coming up. Pretty hard to top the last one, though. That was pretty cool. Again, thanks to Kelly. I never would have known. I don't count, but I never would have known. 26 top 3 finishes out of the stable last week. That is an incredible feat, and one that we, all of us here at the stable, the kids and Amy and I and Jason and Harry and Mario and Johnny, James, everyone that has anything to do with the stable are and should be very, very proud of. So, thank you very much. I will talk to you all very, very soon. Looking for a big week coming up.